Hello, and welcome to another episode of Automate Office Work. I'm your host, Justin. Today's episode is going to be all about a trainings platform. You might already have a platform where you have official trainings for your department or your company, but there's also all kinds of trainings that are more kind of ad hoc, like you train somebody on a new tool and you want to be able to record it and then put it in a place where everybody in your department has access to them and can manage them and can filter. And yeah, why don't we make it so that we can find all the different kinds of trainings? So we're going to make a single place for all of these extra ad hoc, kind of less the unofficial trainings. Let's say you're in a legal department and you have a law firm that comes and they do some kind of a presentation about current legal topics for your department. Well, somebody's bound to record it, but where do they put it? And especially for the new people who join your department the next week. Wouldn't it be nice if you could make it so that people can find stuff? So that is the topic of today. It's not so much the formal training platform, that you might pay a vendor for and be able to like track people, track compliance training, that kind of stuff. No, this one's a little bit less formal, but also it could be just as important for you and bring great benefits to your department and your company. All right. So I am going to have an article that I will write up about this, but I haven't written it yet. You will be able to find that article at my website, automateofficework.com/trainings. But for right now, we are going to go to a SharePoint site where I have created this, and it is at trainings. All right. Oh, by the way, this podcast is live on LinkedIn every Friday. Welcome to the live audience. It's being recorded also to be put onto YouTube in video format, as well as audio only for Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So I will do my best that anything I show, I will try to describe it. So I will paint a picture with words so that anyone can enjoy this in audio format as well. Okay, so I have my browser open and I am at a SharePoint page. It does not look like your normal SharePoint page, and that is because I started with a blank canvas and just put the exact things that I would like my users to be able to see. So this is a SharePoint. It is at automateofficework.sharepoint.com/sites. And then my SharePoint is test to show demonstrations of these tools that are not actual, it's a demo version, /site pages /trainings.aspx. So the idea is that a user would come here and they can see a list of all the trainings that have been recorded. I've got a nice banner along the top that a nice header. It's always the same to let the user know that they are in one of my tools, which they all have the same look and feel, especially the header. They know that they're at legal and then trainings. It's a subsection of that. I've got a nice header. It says trainings, and we've got a nice logo of a little stick man pointing at some kind of an easel or some kind of a board where they're giving a training. So it's a great icon to show trainings. And I always have, there's a link to learn more. It's a link to a Word document that any user can open. And I always make a one-page instruction, because users come to something for the very first time. They don't know the basics. Why is this here? What do I do with it? If I have questions, who do I reach out to? So I always make it a one-page Word document, okay? Below that, I've got a button. It says Add Training. Below that, I've got some different options to sort the trainings by name, by date, by the number of likes that people have given them. Below that is a row for filtering. You can filter by the team that owns the training. You can filter by the email address of the owner of the training. So we have a specific person who owns the training. After that, you can filter by category. And if I choose a category, like I have a category called general, then I get an extra filtering dropdown for subcategory. And my current training, I gave it a subcategory. It had a category of general, and then it has a subcategory of nonsense. I was just trying to be silly. So if I pick nonsense, there are no further subcategories currently, but if I did, we could go further and further and further. So you can categorize your trainings multiple different ways, as well as the last filtering option. It says audience, and I can filter by internal or external. And this is because there's actually two different kinds of trainings that are given in a department. There are trainings that are meant only to the internal department members. We want to train each other, as well as maybe the legal department. Somebody has recorded a training for other departments. They want to let the other departments know this is how we do things in legal. So that audience then would be external. So it's very nice to be able to filter and see the exact trainings that I'm interested in. Below that, I have a list of all the trainings. So far, I only have one. It has a title. It says Training About Trainings. And that's kind of like today's podcast. I am giving a training about trainings. So I am recording this video. And when I'm done, I will post this video onto this training. So you'll see it. Okay. So this training, in the top right corner, I have an icon. It has a little box, and it has an arrow pointing into the box. And this is to signify that this training is internal. If the arrow was to be pointing outside of the box, then it would be an external training. I do have the date that the training was given. That is today, 21st of March, 2025. The team is legal. The owner is my email address. The number of likes, currently it's at 0. We'll fix that. And then you can see the categories, the subcategories, the subcategories, the subcategories. It says general. Then I've got an arrow pointing to the right, and it says nonsense for the subcategory. Below that, I have a horizontal line, and below that, it says total : 1. So you can see immediately how many trainings I have visible to me right now. I only have one. You can imagine we might have hundreds or thousands of these trainings that we want to be able to keep track of and manage. And as people filter and sort, they'll get a different number, and it will show them how many they have currently visible. Okay, so let's click on this Training About Trainings, and it will take us to a dedicated page for this training. All right, my URL has changed. Instead of just being trainings.aspx, it now has additionally a question mark, training equals 12. So that's a unique identifier of this training. And this page, it gives the title of the training at the top. It says Training About Trainings. In the top right corner, I have a button that says Edit. And this is visible to me because I am an owner of this training, and I can always edit it by clicking on Edit, which we will do later. Below that, I have a nice box that gives me the details of this training so far: the date it was given, the team, the owner, the audience, the category, the subcategory, and the subcategory, which for me is blank. Below that, I have a box for the number of likes, and there's a button. For me, it's bright blue, and it says like, and that's because I haven't liked this training yet, so I can click on it. I'll do that later in a second, but to the right of that button, it says 0 likes. So it's counting the number of people who have liked this, and it gives us the number. When I click on this bright blue button that says like, the number of likes goes to 1 like, and the button is now grayed out, showing that I have already done the action. I don't need to do the action again. I can still click on this grayed out button, and it removes my like. So the button becomes blue again, and the number of likes goes down to 0. I'm going to click it again because I want this training to have likes. Okay, below that, below this is now I have the actual content of this training. A training can have multiple sections. You can have titles anywhere you want, which titles are big. And I've got one that says title. You can then have like different paragraphs of text. You can have multiples of them. You can also have videos. So I have one video here. It's actually a YouTube video, and it's embedded into this training page. So the user can click play and they can watch the training right within their browser, right within the training. Okay. And below that, I have a file. It has a PDF icon and it says dummy.pdf. If I click on this, it actually opens the PDF. This PDF is on SharePoint. So it's a great place to store stuff. Your users can see stuff very easily. Okay, so that's all for the content of my training. But below that, there's another section. And this is a section for comments. Anybody looking at this training can leave comments. We would like to get comments, especially like, let's say a training is getting older. It's been a year. The training is kind of out of date. A person might come and say, you know, I have better information. You need to update this. Here's the actual information that should be in the training now. And they can leave a comment. Above the new comment box, I also have a little gray box, and it has a check mark in a checkbox. It says email me, and then in parentheses, training owner, about new comments. And this is to help us. If somebody leaves a comment on a training that I own, I might want to be notified, right? Instead of just randomly looking around on web pages and seeing, oh, somebody left a comment. So I've got a checkbox here. It's checked. It says email me. But at the same time, maybe some training owners, they really don't care. They might say, I don't need to be notified. I don't want to get notified when somebody leaves a comment. So we can give the ability for people to turn this on and off as they would like. Okay. I'm going to leave a comment. This training is great. And let's see. Click on comment, and it leaves it down below. So there's a whole history of comments. It brings up the person's picture from Office 365, which I don't have one. So it shows a little silhouette. And then it says my email address said, and then this training is great. And it gives the time. Right now it says a second ago, but if I was to refresh the page and come back here, it would give me the date and time that this person said this. Also, I believe, yes, there is an X in the top right corner. Because I am the person who gave this comment, I might decide I want to delete this, so I can delete a comment as well. Okay, so that's it for the training page. This is incredibly flexible. You see, we can do multiple videos. You can do videos from multiple sources. We can do YouTube. We can do from Microsoft Streams, I believe is what it used to be. It's now, I think they want you to use like OneDrive or something. I would suggest that you don't save your recorded meetings in OneDrive, because when the owner leaves the company, their OneDrive is deleted. So instead, you need to move the files to a more permanent place, like a SharePoint. But then you can embed a video from SharePoint into the training page right here. All right. So I'm wondering, how do you guys like this content so far? We have a live audience, and I believe we have a couple people watching. All right. I don't see any comments so far. But okay, so we're going to go further. I'm going to click on this edit button. And when I do, all of these pieces are now editable. I can edit the title of this. I can edit the date that the training was given. I can edit the name of the team. I can edit the owner. I can change it from internal to external. I can change the category, subcategory, and the subcategory. I then have these little boxes for each of these elements of the training. So like I have a box with a title, and I can rearrange these. I can click and drag to move them around. I can also click on, there's a little garbage can icon, so I can delete any of these pieces. underneath all of these pieces, I then have a drop-down menu where I can add additional sections. I can add a text box. I can add a title box. I can add a new file. I can add a video if I want to. Okay. So all of this is editable. It's very easy to do. You make a beautiful experience for your users and then just allow them to be creative in their content. We take care of the formatting, like the look and feel, the style, so that there is a consistent look and feel and everything looks professional, but then you let your users focus on the content. Okay. Below that, all that, I do have a button. It says unpublish training. If I was to click on this, it makes it so the training actually isn't visible to anybody. It's only visible to an owner like myself. And on the list of trainings, it's grayed out and I can see it, which I can then come back and edit it, and I can then republish is what the button would say. Okay. So this allows us to work on a training. Maybe the training isn't ready to be seen by everybody. So this allows you to work on it until you finally feel ready. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my trainings page and show you how to create a new one. And that is really easy. You click on plus add training on the homepage, and it asks for a title, and I can say another training. The team, I'm going to leave it as legal, so we have multiples. The audience is internal. The owner is me by default, which it's grayed out with my email address, which I can change the owner later, but by default, it's me. My category, I'm going to say general. And my subcategory, instead of saying nonsense, I'm going to say important. And then subcategory, I'm going to say, how about stuff? Importance, general, important stuff. Okay. And when I submit this, it just added a new row, a new training on my trainings list. And it gives all the details. When I click on this to go to its page, it's now training. The ID is 18. And I have no content in my training. So I can edit this page and I can easily add more content. I can add a title. Here is a title. I can add a paragraph. Let's do some text. This is something to read. And so you see, it's very easy. We can rearrange these. We can delete them. We can add more things. You can have your training be as simple or complex as you want to. You might also be asking, what if I have like a series of trainings? Is it better to group them all together in a single training? So they have like part 1, 2, 3, and 4 all on a single page, or should I break them out and let users click on them individually? I would say that's a great thing to think about. The platform that I've created is flexible, so you can do it either way. Really think about your user, though. If I was a user and I was interested in a training, I think I'd rather see them all together. Honestly, if there's a part 1, 2, 3, and 4, I would not want to have to be clicking around. So yeah, really think about this with intention. This is one of those areas that people don't often think about. We are constantly doing trainings. You might be doing the same exact training with multiple groups of people. What I would suggest is that you record one of those sessions and then allow people just to go watch the recording. Let them do it at their convenience, because we're all busy. Getting, I don't know, 10 or 20 people in a meeting at once, that's a big cost. It's a cost of time. It's a cost of money. We could all be doing other stuff. It's also difficult to arrange schedules to find a time when everybody's available. So make your trainings really beneficial. Make it so that they're useful and people can actually find them and get benefit from them. And also think about people in the future. People are going to be joining your company in the future. What if they could, how many times have you started work at a new company? It's day one. IT just gave you a laptop and now you're sitting there. You don't have much. Well, you've gone through the official trainings. And now you're just sitting there with nothing to do until you're introduced to different people on day 2 or whatever. So on that day 1, wouldn't it be nice if you could go see all the different all the different available trainings and just go through ones that are interesting for you, things that you think will help you in your position. Uh, yeah. All right. Let's see if we got some comments. I got a comment on a different post. Okay. So yeah, I think that's it for today. Is there anybody on who wants to come on and have a conversation? In the last episode, I had Danny come on, and he was a co-host with me, and that was such great fun. If any of you would like to come on with me as well, please reach out to me. Please connect. You can find me on my website, automateofficework.com. I've got an email address, justin@automateofficework.com. I've also got on my website a big book a call button. And I'm also active on LinkedIn. So you can find me. I am Justin Turman, Turman. And I am a lawyer, coder, and linguist currently in Amsterdam. And yeah, I look forward to having guests on the podcast. I am trying to get professionals who work in automation, similar to me, so we can come on and have conversations about how to get started and how do you make this change in your organization and you really make a big impact, right? Because even beyond the technology, yes, technology can be difficult for some. I might make it look easy, but even in the end, technology is not the only thing that matters. We also have to keep in mind the people. And there's a lot of management of people and culture. You have to bring the people along with you as well. So I look forward to having these great conversations with people. If you are one of these people who have already gone down this path, I invite you to reach out to me as well. And let's connect and let's have a conversation and let's talk about the issues that are important to you. Even if you are only beginning on your automation journey, let's say you just started and you don't know exactly where to go from here, I'm happy to meet together with you, especially if we are going to record and to make it available for other people. You can come on to this live podcast and let's just have the conversation live. I am not afraid of tough issues. I have quite enough experience in so many different things. I'm sure that I can give you some advice, even just off the cuff here on the air. I'm also available. My website is automateofficework.com. I am available for consulting. So that is me giving you some expert advice, pointing you in the right direction for a nominal fee. And I am also available to provide customized solutions, like exactly like what I've just shown here to you today. You can imagine that these kinds of principles using SharePoint to such a degree could be useful for all kinds of work. And I've done about 60 of these large projects already. And I'm pretty confident that SharePoint can be used to improve your processes. And as well, I'm also available for education. I can give conference talks or come to your organization, and we raise the culture of your organization. We get people thinking in these terms and brainstorming what is possible and what do we really want. We need to design our work processes with more intention so that everything isn't just chaos, but we design the experience that we want to have in our work roles. Okay, because it's completely possible, and most likely you already have the tools that you need. You have things like Office 365. We just need to get you to use them in the right way. All right, so I don't see anybody on. Nobody's leaving a comment that they want to come on, but if you want to come on in the future, just leave a comment on this live stream and we can bring you on as well. Okay. So that's it. I wish you guys happy automating.